Alright guys, welcome to part 2. Nice little soggy day here we got. I lightly sanded everything before, and it's interesting. It definitely turns closer to this yellowish color than the lighter tan when it dries after you sand it. So I'm sort of, I don't know. I think it might. I'm hoping it doesn't wear down after time allows into that more yellow color, because I really like this color. If you can tell, let's see if I can pick out. Probably can't tell from the picture, but this has been sanded. This hasn't been sanded. This just comes out a little bit darker when you sand it, so I'm hoping it'll stay this lighter color. Also, I think I mentioned before, it's a tactical desert beige, and while I got their order going, I also got a tactical dark earth, which looks very dark on here. So we may put together a camouflage using the Duracoat. I may even sponge it on. I haven't decided. Right now I'm leaning towards sponging with the sage green, and then maybe putting this in a small cup and using a small brush and brushing some more branch type serrations across it with the dark earth. That's kind of what I'm leaning for. So I picked up 2 more of the spray kits. One specifically for today's second coat, and then down the road, if I want to spray with any leftover paint or do some project with the dark earth, I've got that. I have been using a mask the whole time. The best technique I found was just to hold it in my hand. Hanging it isn't really working out for me, and neither is putting it on down here. These Prevail sprayers, you have to have them perfectly vertical. They don't want to spray even at a 45 or anything. So spraying things on a table is not going to work, because you have to lean the can over, and I can't hang everything. So I started to hold stuff in my hand and spray it, and that seemed to work out the best. I mean, I'm wearing nitrile gloves. There's not a whole lot of overspray. This is a nice coverage with this. It's also a little bit thicker coverage. I went and looked at some of the other Duracoating videos out there, and it looks like a lot of people are using their thinning agent. So this may be a little bit thicker to go on here, but yeah, we'll see how she goes. Alright, well, we're back. Got everything Duracoated. I did wait 2 days to reassemble everything. It says you can reassemble in 24 hours. I wasn't really in a hurry to go shooting or anything, so I waited 2 days, put everything back together. Everything works good. Went ahead and ran a brush through, re-oiled everything. Did notice that this brighter color does show up sort of your dirty fingers. If you happen to have dirty hands, it'll show up on there, but it does wipe off pretty easy. Went out shooting today, and at the end of the day I noticed that the rubber UTG guards are wearing here on the sides a little bit. The dust caps where the rubber is flexing, I didn't spray the inside, but you can see where they're flexing a little bit. I think you can't see that there. For the flexible rubber pieces, you can see the paint obviously doesn't stay with it. It wants to crack where the rubber is. So when you peel those off, the dust covers off there, those are probably going to go. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. If there's a few scratches or flaws, that's fine. I was just trying to get the overall large black rifle look toned down a little bit. The Gerber turned out pretty good. Obviously I didn't shoot the inside of the sheath, but the sheath looks good. I decided to leave off the 5 power zoom Mako for now. More than likely, I think I'm going to go for the MOE Magpul front grip and foreguard. But everything worked out pretty well. Obviously, when you pull certain things back, I did go ahead and move the fire safety around on the second one. Some of the handle, some of the pieces that you actuate, you can tell that it's still black underneath, but for overall, very minimal prep. I didn't take the trigger pieces apart. Everything seems to be firing fine, so it seemed to work out all right. The Gerber I'm going to let set, and probably won't fire the rifle for a little while. And I was pretty careful today. Basically, just I put on the bipod and just shot from the tailgate. So I was trying to be careful. I read where it says it takes 3 to 6 weeks to fully cure, even after the first initial 24 hours where it dries. So I'm going to try not to use some of this gear, although I'll probably use the canteen cup, but obviously don't have to. Also went ahead and played around more. Sorry, I'm kind of blocking my own light here. Played around more with the sage green. When I got the other one I showed you, I got the Tactical Dark Earth. Excuse me. And I mixed a small amount of that up with a little bit of hardener, and then just used a Q-tip. And on a couple of these, like the lighter ones, I just wanted to shadow the green with the other color. It dries more of a dark gray once it's dry than it is a brown. And some of these are lighter, and some of them are darker. This is more kind of an X pattern. This is kind of following X pattern a little bit. Basically right angles with a little bit of shadow underneath of the Duracoat. Obviously the green is spray paint, but the undercoating is or underlining, just creating some shadows, is the Duracoat. So the brown you see on there. So then I started getting a little stripy on them. And again, these are, the reason I did it on the magazines is they're fairly flat, they're easy to sand, and they're easy to reshoot. On top of that, I went ahead and ordered, I thought I was going to get some Magpul ones, but I found a good deal on Tapco, so I went ahead and ordered 5 Tapco dark brown or dark earth magazines. So these still will just probably remain as range mags for now. Not real happy with this one. Again, each side is a little bit different. Then I got into sort of wanting to get branchy with it, and really kind of like that one. Just kind of scattered line, just to break up the actual shape of it a little bit. This one was sort of one of my favorites. It's the green on the sponge, but most of the paint's gone, so it's a real faded, shaded looking green, and then very minimal branching work. And there's a slightly different version on the back, and it looks pretty good. If you can kind of get an idea of that, of the whole rifle. And then as I was cleaning up, I found one of my old splints that is a metal diamond work. And so on the canteen lid, I played around with spraying, and you got to be real careful. You got to do real light dusting. It'd be a whole lot easier if I actually had an airbrush. But right over to the rattle can, did the old diamond, which is a very popular camo texture, and then made sure I had good pigment on the dark earth Duracoat, and ran a couple lines on there. And I think that is sort of my favorite. We'll go with that. Maybe a little bit lighter dusting. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I'll probably wait. I'm in no hurry to finish the actual camoing of this. Once the Duracoat's cured on there, I'll be happier. Gentleman talked about using Duracoat on eating utensils, but I didn't do the inside. And also, the only reason I did this, it wasn't to camouflage it or obscure it, was I wanted to see how the temperature was affected on Duracoating. I do have the thicker barrel on the Bushmaster, and but it's supposed to be fine on there. But I figured testing it with some campfire, maybe some alcohol stoves, some non-sooty stoves, would test some of the Duracoating's ability to withstand heat. Was my main reason for doing that, not really camouflaging my canteen cup. But main reason was to get the rifle, the magazines, and the Gerber, and of course the accessories that go on there. And I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with the success. Time will tell. So I appreciate all your guys' feedback on part 1. Well, there was a few of you that decided, because the brand I picked, or the company I picked for the Bushmaster, that I shouldn't be Duracoating it. Those comments are always pretty hilarious for me. because I don't have X brand of product that's not cool enough to be Duracoated. So, but yeah, appreciate all your feedback, and all you guys that have done Duracoating projects. It looks pretty cool, and like I said, time will tell. It's basically going to be hardened paint. I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't expect it not to wear off. I just expect it to last longer than paint would. So thanks, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and feel free to attach any video responses of any Duracoating projects you guys have done. Take a look at those. And again, I have a whole thing of darker earth color to do some other projects down the road on. Hopefully by then maybe I'll get an airbrush. I enjoyed the little Prevail spray bottles, but the fact that you had to keep them completely vertical, even though the box says you can hold them at 45, it really didn't work that well. You had to hold everything, and it really puts out a lot of paint. It would have been nice to mist some of the paint on so that it wasn't as thick, or maybe I could do maybe 3 or 4 coats. You can tell, probably not with this camera, but on the blade, it's a little bit thick in a couple spots. And I also went over the blade with another knife just to pull off the Duracoating. One little tip is brake cleaner will eat through Duracoating. So if you make any mistakes or you want to clean all the Duracoat off, brake cleaner will eat through that. Don't ask me how I know that. I did use the brake cleaner as a pre-cleaner. Make sure everything's evaporated off there, all the stuff leaves no residue, so there's no worry about using it before you use Duracoat. But if you go to lightly sand it before the second coat, say for instance, don't use brake cleaner on it because the solvent will completely destroy the Duracoating. But because I knew that through trial and error, I also went ahead and used some Q-tips and cleaned the feed lips, sanded the corners a little bit, and made sure the follower in here was completely devoid of Duracoating, because it got a little overspray. I didn't tape those, I just had my finger over it. But yeah, brake cleaner will clean up anything. And again, I imagine if you don't wait the 3 to 6 weeks for the full cure time, any sort of light sanding will take some of that off too. But overall, very pleased with Duracoating, and I appreciate you for watching.